flag salute.
Lord Jesus, hallowed be thy name. Jesus, come be with us today. Bring your divinity, your holiness, and your righteousness, and guide us in the path you want us to follow. Jesus, inspire our commissioners today to make decisions that are prudent and judicious. Inspire all of us that come here today to be respectful of one another. And Lord, grant us strength to stand up and command Satan in your name to be gone from our midst. He is neither wanted, needed, or welcome. Lastly, Lord Jesus, make us mindful that we have one great blessing in that we're all residents of Marion County, Kansas. It's our home. It's the place we choose to live. Keep us mindful to remain strong, united, and not allow any issue, whatever it might be, to tear up the fabric of our community. Somebody famous once said that united we stand, divided we fall. Let us keep that in mind, Lord. And with your divine guidance and leadership, we can overcome most any obstacle. Thank you again, Jesus, for the blessings. It's in your name that we pray. Amen.
Amen. Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay, administrative business to list.
Okay. I have the minutes of August 19th.
Okay. All had a chance to review those minutes and issues or corrections.
I'll make a motion to accept the minutes as written.
Second, I'll second that. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed?
We have some supplements for review. Okay. As part of the county budget approval, there are 2 allocations that the board needs to approve and sign off on. You've already approved the Conservation District budget, and so that's been signed off, but we didn't have official approval of the Judicial District. They have 3 budgets, and then also for the Extension Council. And they have to have a certified statement saying what their allocation will be. And so they had made their requests. I didn't know if, I just wanted to verify you didn't have any changes or issues with that, but if not, then we need to go ahead and approve and sign off on their allocations.
Okay. I guess the first one would be,
The Extension Council, their appropriation, they have requested $164,048 from the county.
okay, that would be the Extension Council appropriation 2020. I'll go ahead and make a motion that we accept that appropriation.
Second.
Moved and seconded, all those in favor?
Aye.
Yep, just need one signature.
And on the judicial budget, you might remember that they submit 3 different budgets. One is for our county, one is for the district as a whole, and then there's a third one
And they be approved as one, or do they have to have separate?
is, really, we just need to, if there's, we don't really have authority to change any of their budget things for the district, but if there were any things that you wanted to make for the county, you could talk with them about that, and generally you just approve it as presented, and then it's just a form to sign, so. Actually, it's three forms to sign.
Okay, then I'll go ahead and make a motion to approve the judicial district budgets, which includes 3 different items.
Second.
Moved and seconded, all those in favor?
Aye.
Some salary sheets.
Salary sheets. First one is for Jessica Gilbert, Health Department, for performance, $13.26, $15. Sherry Moody, Health Department, performance, $22.08, $24. Karen Hine, Health Department, for 6-month raise, $16.1625. And salary change for Deidre Serene, Health Department, for increasing budgeted grant funding from $255 to $300.
I just wanted to see what the board would like to do about meeting, the next meeting, because we do have a payday meeting coming up this week, and then we have a holiday on Monday, so didn't know if you want to meet again then on Tuesday, or if you want to just wait till the next Monday to meet on the 9th.
Well, I had talked to Tina, I'm gonna be out of town on Friday, so hopefully you other two will be here for payday. Okay, what's your thoughts? We have quite a few agenda items coming up.
There isn't anything, as of right now, there's nothing really scheduled. We have,
For next Tuesday?
for Tuesday, we just have admin and road and bridge on here because we always put them on, so that's the only thing.
Anything?
I mean, I'd be open that day if you want to move it to Tuesday.
That's fine with me.
So go ahead and meet.
Yeah, you got something to,
Okay, why don't we just plan on Tuesday then?
you got something to put on there, anything else?
We have a whole week to determine if you will or not.
Conceivably, there'd be an agenda item or two that'd come up during the week, and would yes,
Okay.
plan on 9 o'clock Tuesday.
Okay. I do have in your packet the final pay estimate for the transfer station, but I didn't know if maybe you wanted to wait till Bud's here to verify that everything on the punch list has been completed before you approve that. So,
Well, we did go, we did have the walkthrough.
right, and they made a list of the items that need to be completed, and so they probably need to know if those things are done before we make the final payments.
Okay, we'll put that off until Bud comes.
Okey-doke. That's all I have.
Okay, Bryce, Road and Bridge.
Good morning. All right, first of all, we have pipe bids. Wellborn sales was considerably less than J&J, so I'd like for that to ask for your approval on that.
It's for metal culverts?
Yes.
Yeah.
The second sheet was they originally quoted 14 gauge, and we come back and said, no, we want 12 gauge for those bigger
Okay.
pipes, so that's the reason why it's crossed out. So
So we've had, how many bids? here?
just those two, Wellborn Sales and J&J.
Okay. So the low bid on, is from Wellborn Sales in Salina, in the amount of $16,804.50 with the next bid coming in from J&J Drainage Products for $20,500.50. So I would go ahead and make a motion to approve the low bid from Wellborn Sales, in the amount of $16,804.50.
Second.
Moved and seconded, all those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Anybody want to see these?
I'd just like to ask you, Bryce, we've had on this deal here, we've had, in the past, we've had some problems between two bidders.
Yes.
And you said you've already called this guy's come back and went from 14 to 12 gauge.
Yes, yeah.
Okay.
Basically quoting apples to apples.
Well, that's what I was getting at. That's all I'm asking really is, when the bids went out, did it say 12 gauge?
Yes.
Okay.
Yep. So, and they do have a little bit different corrugations, you want to say, but we haven't had any big issues in the past with those, and for the $6,000 difference, I thought that was, we could probably make that work. So, pretty good size difference, so. But,
So does it make a lot of difference on that weight? You see a lot of those things with ends bent down on them and stuff.
It all comes down to the fact is, the biggest problem we have with culverts is we never know if we're gonna have 5 foot of fill over top of them, if we're gonna have 6 inches of fill. That's why we try to specify the heavier gauge pipe, knowing that if we're ever in that situation, the heavier pipe should perform better. Now, as far as the ends getting smashed down and everything else, that's a whole nother deal. I mean, if you drive off the road with an 80,000-pound truck and get it, or any kind of heavy equipment, you're gonna damage by anything. So that's frustrating about it. Unfortunately, if you smash the top side or the bottom side, it affects the culvert all the way through, no matter what happens in the middle of it, so.
Okay.
Second of all, we got our sign bids in. We had National Sign as well as the other one. I put the bids on the front. National Sign was low for the total bid. There's all kinds of papers where they split them up that way, so. Basically, this is replacing all the road signs in the county. We are just, it's incredible how many of them are gone. This has kind of been a big push because talking with Travis Parmley with the EMS, he gets a lot of the people that he brings in are from out of county. So those signs could make a big help if they ever got out there and got confused or whatever else, we can determine that. But why all these old signs are gone, nobody knows. If they've been stolen, if they've fallen off, whatever else. But like I said, that was the big push to get these replaced, so.
Okay, so we've got two bids here again, one from J&A Traffic Products, one from National Sign.
So I wrote the total on the top that way, just because they broke them up kind of different,
Yeah.
so.
So the low bid is from National Sign in the amount of $33,987.26, with the other bid coming in at $37,734.40. So, go ahead, Randy.
You're saying you're replacing all the signs, and I understand that. We did have a plan. Have you been included in on the plan of sectionals?
Yes,
Okay.
yes. This is, and I told him, I said, even if it comes to the point of some of these have already been replaced, we'll have those extra ones out there. I mean, at this point in time, and Larry did go through and based on the ones that he had replaced, has taken those off of that list. So we should not be ordering any duplicates as far as that point. But yeah, I mean, we're trying to redo the section, but I said, all things considered, I thought this was a higher priority than some of those others, simply because of those issues, or possible issues.
Does that include the poles too, or just the sign?
Yeah, they're all broken there, as to what they were, so.
And your budgets
Yeah.
up for that?
Yeah.
Okay.
So I have a question. And this is probably a stupid question, but I noticed, like you said, a lot of the road signs, the little top part is gone. How do we mount them? The pole is still there. How do we, are they bolted?
Some of them are bolted, some of them are,
Can we spot weld them a little bit?
all the new signs and new attachments are a lot better as far as vandalism. A lot of them, and honestly, if it comes down to the fact is if they want the sign, they're gonna take it. They're gonna take the pole, they're gonna take the sign, whatever it is. The new attachments are a little more forgiving, I guess, when it comes to weather, because the problem is the older stuff was steel and it rusted. Sometimes they would just fall off or fly off or whatever else. But yeah, it's, like I said, that's a common practice. I guess Mustang signs are really, really hard to keep because they end up in people's houses. And it's very frustrating to me that they'll go out and spend the effort to take off a sign and everything else, leave the post and everything else, but the whole principle is there. But yeah, we're trying to work on that and keep up on it. But it's just like I said, it's an impossible task to try to keep up with which ones are going. But like I said, just driving around the county, it's amazing how many of them are gone. So constant battle.
Is that a misdemeanor or a felony?
It
Depends on whose road it's on. It's a misdemeanor.
And then it also depends on what happens after that sign is gone, if something happens. But, yeah, it's, like I said, we try to put them up there so that the low-key criminals can't do anything, but like I said, if they want the sign bad enough, they'll just knock the post over or whatever they need to, so.
Are you thinking of sticking to the old signpost, or are you thinking of going to the new?
No, we're going to the new ones because that's the way the new attachment works better with them, so.
And in your comment, Diane, I like your comment about welding to do anything to keep them. But when we went to those new square posts that we have, there was a sort of like a rivet deal that they come out with. Well, that was good enough till they figured out they couldn't get it, and then they bring the sawzalls along and just saw the whole post off. I mean, with I don't know where they take it then, but they had that happen probably for 8 or 10 signs.
Yeah.
The first 6
Well,
months.
and all things considered, all they gotta do is hook a rope or chain on there and just pull the thing over there, and then there's the sign, and yeah, it's, like I said, if they want the sign, they're gonna get it, no matter what. so.
The old posts are harder to sawzall than those square ones.
But you know, how much is the sign worth if they're gonna take a sawzall out to, it's just, so. Yeah, I wish. We have a.
Well, there was no action taken on
Oh,
that.
sorry.
We haven't taken
I
action.
saw it. Good.
I'll go ahead and make a motion then to approve the sign bid from National Sign Company in the amount of $33,987.26.
Second.
Moved and seconded, all those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Oops, I think it's that.
The other bid was
Right.
3440.
Yeah.
A little higher.
All right, we got a permit application from Shawmut Oil and Gas to attach a gas line to our bridge out at, I have the exact, basically 24th and 240th and Clover. They could just attach that on there. We just want the information so that we know who's responsible for it and everything else. There's not a problem to attaching it to the bridge, so.
Any questions from Bryce about that?
No,
Is
no.
that a normal?
Yeah, they've done it in the past, and they've just put a new line in, and like I said, the biggest thing is it won't affect the bridge performance whatever else, we just need to know that down the road who owns it, so it's on record, so that.
Are those low pressure type things?
I don't know what
Yeah,
they're running.
that is. Yeah, so.
I mean, you just think about.
Oh, yeah.
Trying to blow something up.
Sure.
Blow the
sure.
bridge up.
Well, and honestly, they've got these lines laid in our ditches and everything else, they just can't run it down to the creek, so they've got to attach it. out
Is it
over.
Yeah.
oil or is it gas?
What he said, but,
Unless it's a salt water line.
Well, it even could be that too, but we're getting criticized for any pipe that we have on the bridge. It states KCC's making us
Really?
take it off. Yeah.
Okay.
That's why. think
Well,
it's
I mean,
flashing down.
if you want me to
Maybe you need
investigate.
to do a little bit more
Sure.
investigation into
Sure.
that
Okay,
and bring it back to us.
sure. Yeah, no problem.
Okay.
We have area fuel bids. Very, very close. The cooperative was area 1. And EPS was 2 and 3. But you can't get much closer than what they did.
Okay, I'll make a motion to go ahead and approve area fuel bids for area 1 for cooperative grain and supply in the amount of 2007-23. And area EPS for area 2 and 3 in the amount of 4,017 and 3,802.50.
Second.
Moved and seconded, all in favor?
Aye.
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 The only thing that I really had was, we talked about a couple weeks ago, basically due to the conditions we've had since then, I think we're going to forego chip sealing this year, continue to blade patch the rest of the year. They're currently working down on 140th, going south on Sunflower, and then going down to Old Mill, 60th, and then we're gonna finish the year up on 330th, Tampa, stuff like that, Kansas. I just think that we've got more issues than the chip seal will cover. We've got these areas that are still patched with rock that we need to get covered up for winter time. We have the material, so that'll sit there. The only thing we're really not spending money on would be the oil. And we informed them 2 weeks ago that we would probably make a decision today, and they were said, fine with that, just long as let them know, and then we can finish blade patching. We probably will go over blade patching, but like I said, I feel more confident putting blade patches out there than I do the chip seal right now. So, unless there's any opposition to it, I just driving around the county, with all this rain and stuff, those rock patches just, they're just, so.
You said 60th west of Peabody too, that deal, correct?
Yes, yeah, always do that. We're also, the area that we went and patched a couple weeks ago, where the culvert went clear across, I asked him to take some of that material out there, put more material in there, and then we'll blade patch over top of it, so
Cool.
be more structural.
Condition in agreement? Okay.
Unfortunately, yes.
This-
I wish I could do everything.
This could be another one, Diane, that where we try to get by through the winter and putting it in, and some of these holes is gonna keep running back up again, but what do you do?
I think this is the right thing to do, what we're doing under these circumstances.
Okay.
Does you have anything else?
Thanks, Russ.
Okay.
Okay, we're a little bit ahead. Rob out here.
Sheriff? No. Thank you.
Did you have anything on your budget? You talked about it during our budget
I
meeting.
didn't put it in the budget.
You just put it on
Did
your
not
budget.
put it. I'm actually here, Tina passed upstairs for word about her question about the courtroom. And so that's why I came down, but I came now because I knew you were gonna talk about this.
Yeah.
If you got
It's involved in the whole discussion.
do you wanna talk about that?
Yeah, I think he's talking about something a little different.
Yeah, I think
Oh,
it's good.
okay,
The
well,
question
we
that-
can go ahead. Come on up here.
What, come up there?
Yeah, it's good to stand.
Raise your-
Just cause you got a tie on, don't mean.
Raise your right hand, please.
His voice carries pretty well.
Yeah.
You don't cut shot.
Anyway, I asked Tina to put this on the agenda. As you know, courtroom security was brought up as an issue to us, been over a month ago, maybe it's 2 months ago. But I think that it's time that we as commission take some type of action to provide security in the courtroom. And as a second part of that, to also talk about securing the courthouse in general. So I'd asked Rob to be here, and I believe
He's on his way.
he can be here, but if you want to go ahead and address the courtroom issue anymore.
Okay, Kent, what I meant by that was, the question that was addressed to me was, or to Jan actually, that got passed on to me, was whether or not the courtroom would be an option for the commission to meet. And that's what I was referring to. But because I found out that this security thing was on the docket, whatever, agenda as well, that's why I came down. But I did want to respond to that question. I think when you build a new judicial center somewhere, that would be a wonderful commission room, because you could set it, there's tables down there reserved all over the place, have all kinds of view, and it's all set up with your video stuff and your electronics for microphones and stuff. Right now, here would be the problem. I reckon this week is a perfect example. We had a jury trial schedule that was supposed to start today and go all week long. Well, last week, that thing had to be continued. Nobody wanted to, but there was no way around. It had to be done. So this week, there's nobody in there. So if someone were to come upstairs and look, they'd say, well, why couldn't you use the courtroom? Look, there's nothing going on here. But I could show you the calendar, and now through the rest of this year, I bet there isn't more than 10 days that aren't already scheduled for something. And I would guess it would be less than that. And you just never know when something's gonna go or not go. It's not possible, like we had a week-long jury trial. I just can't say to somebody who thinks they have a trial in October, hey, you know, we got an opening, bring your people, and we're gonna have it tried today, because there's a preparation part. If we were to say, well, could you use it at night? Now, I'm sure most of you don't want to have meetings at night, but if you could do it, but there's a problem with that too, in that when we do have jury trials, and I keep talking about jury trials, I want to talk about something besides that as well. When we do have jury trials, I push on those. We schedule a lot of them for one day, or maybe just 2 days. So that means we get a jury picked before noon, we start lawyers' arguments before noon, we're into the case. And I usually give the jury a choice. If we think it's something where we can get done with the evidence by like 4 o'clock or somewhere in there, I give them a choice. Do you want to come back tomorrow and pick up where we stopped? Or do you want to just keep going and maybe get this done tonight? They almost, 9 out of 10 times, they want to keep going and just be done and not have to come back. Well, so if you've got a commission meeting scheduled Tuesday evening, and I've got a jury trial going that day, I'm not gonna wanna give you that room back when I can get a trial done, as opposed to having it run into the next day when I get something else scheduled. And the final thing I'll say about that is that it's not all about jury trials. Mondays and Wednesdays are always booked for dockets. We're running motions, we're running first appearances, we're doing, you know, short things, but lots of people. So Mondays and Wednesdays are kind of off the table anyway. Then if I do have a jury trial like this week, it screwed up my whole thing, because I had to give up my Monday and Wednesday to schedule that jury trial. But so Mondays and Wednesdays are gone, but then that leaves you the other 3 days for the divorces, and we've had a lot of lengthy divorces lately, unfortunately, and motions in trials. I think I'm a lawyer, so I take a long way to get to the answer, but the answer would be no.
In other words, scheduling is a problem.
Scheduling's a problem, and I understand the question. You've got, that's a nice room and it would work really, really well for that purpose, but I just don't see how that we can both share.
On that subject, do you ever see any grants through your federal or thing to, I mean, I'm just, through your profession, do you see any grants for a new building to be built?
I've never seen anything for that. Never. Now, full disclosure, I'm not actively looking.
Right,
But
right.
if something, if there would be something out there, I would certainly, my ears would perk up if I heard about it. But we've done multi-million-dollar renovation of the courthouse in Geary County years ago. And there was, there was nothing out there then, and that was long enough. There were more grants in the late 90s, I think, than there are now. Dickinson County, as you guys probably all know, are right in the middle of it right now. I was really impressed with the way they went about it and their county administrator and how he handled it. I have to believe if there was anything like that, he would have found it. That's my knowledge, that's not the case. Sorry.
Thank you
Yes,
for
Ken,
the
I think I
information.
got up here under false pretenses, but I was just trying to
No.
answer the question that.
I'm glad you brought that up.
Thank you.
Getting back, Rob, you want
That's hard.
I had asked Tina to get Rob over here so we could discuss, we've heard options of, hiring a private security firm and all that, the cost involved. And I guess my question, Rob, is what's the chances of having a bailiff?
Well, we can hire one. Like you're talking about pulling one off the road, that would be a detriment to what services we provide.
Yeah,
I mean, we could hire one and have them as such.
What would be the chances of working with like other county departments or something to have some kind of schedule if like an officer was off and wanted to serve in that capacity when they were off duty? Would that be just too hard to get done, or?
I wouldn't want to rely on that, because if we're doing a jury trial where the judge is going to want a bailiff for more than one day, then we run into, okay, the guys don't want to work both of their days off in the same capacity.
Well, it appears to me that we need to do something just because of the world we live in. And, I hate to say it, but they're sitting ducks up there.
I agree, and we've added a couple people, which hopefully will make it easier. But right now, I've got to get them trained, so they're not certified yet. On an as-needed basis, we might be able to slide one over there, but I wouldn't want to do it at a full-time position. On a case-by-case basis, he might be available, might not. Our workload has increased, as well as the judges. They've all just gone up.
Well, we've heard from the judge, and it sounds like, you know, it's not like he's got people up there one day a week. It's pretty full.
Right, he sent us a calendar of days that he had, and once we had people trained, it would have been a little easier to meet some of the critical days, but not all of them.
So I guess, Commission, I guess my question to you, we've got two options: work to try to get a bailiff or hire professional security business to handle that, but I don't think we need to keep putting it off.
What would your bailiff do during the non-court days?
I don't know, I just figured if he's an employee of the sheriff's department, that would be up to you.
Okay, that's what I guess where I was going. That's where you wanted to employ the sheriff working as the bailiff for the courthouse.
Just a thought.
Okay, that would be doable.
So my thought on it is, no matter what we do, I think we need to get serious about it. I think we're really pushing our luck as we're going here, and as long as we got away with it, to this point, we're probably very lucky. And I know it's expensive, you know, it's just the nature of the beast. So, I just think we need to do it. And I don't, you know, if a bailiff is a perfectly good option, that's fine. If not, let's just hire somebody and do what we need to do. I mean, it's better than having to face a family after something terrible happens.
They have one deputy out during the day.
Yeah, and do we want to be tossing, do we always want to be balancing this, you know? I mean, I think we can make it as complicated as we want, but I just don't think we need to do that myself.
Well, then, if I could just interject, you know, a bailiff is a great idea, but how does that then also be thinking about courthouse security in general?
I was getting to that also. You know, as a second part to that, I think we need to think about limiting at least starting out, limiting access to the courthouse. That would mean locking down all the doors except for the handicap accessible. And, you know, that's not gonna stop everything, but it is a deterrent, it'd be a start.
So then would you have somebody there searching you or set up the security like they do in the
Well,
other?
where
would that go?
I'm just thinking about limited access at this point.
Okay, but if you don't have somebody at that access guiding who's coming in and out, what difference does it make if it's one door or 5 doors?
Then we would need to be looking at either someone that checks people in or some kind of security device.
That's what the other courthouses have done when they limit their doors, if I'm not mistaken. Then at that open door, they go through a check, the people go through a checkpoint of some nature. So I think it works together.
Go ahead, Judge.
The Gary County Courthouse, which if you ever look at it, looks like just a little bit bigger version of this. Same architects, as a matter of fact. Same with Riley County, 711. Riley County remodeled one end of it and created that checkpoint. Can't get in anywhere but there. Gary County didn't remodel anything. They just literally stuck in a metal detector and 2 deputies at the handicap entrance point. And that's the thing, these weren't built for handicapped accessibility, and so everybody created it, but nobody did it at the front door, with the exception of Dickinson Community, who has theirs right there. And they use Gary County and Riley County, I believe. Of course, Riley County has a police department, but it's still same thing. They used officers. And I know they didn't Gary, and I think they didn't Riley. Dickinson County went with the private security firm. I don't know why they went one way as opposed to the other, but that quote that I gave you, I just wanted to give you a dollar amount for what I thought was a minimal level, and that came from the company that does Dickinson County. And I would certainly concede that if you personally, Rob may disagree, I don't think he will. If you put a person full-time in this building, I think they'll die of boredom at some point in time. But if you could pick out time, now, unless you're doing checking them in, and the metal detector, that would be different, they would have something to do. But my thought was to try to identify potential times, and frankly, county commission meetings would be one, that we ought to have somebody, just crowd control, potential for somebody, you know, getting a burr under their saddle and wanting to get physical or harm somebody. Sorry.
But what you're saying, Rob, is this, a bailiff would be a doable fund.
With an addition to the person.
Right.
So you have to hire somebody special to do that.
Somebody to do that.
So what would the downfall be, basically, as to what the judge was saying, by certain times, having that? I mean, I'm just guessing here. I mean, just the way the world is. People do crazy things if they wanna do it. They'll sit in a room, they'll come in at 5 o'clock in the morning if the door's open and wait till 5 o'clock to trial if that's what they wanna do, in the restroom. I mean, so I'm just asking that question.
You know, you can't predict who's gonna do what when. Just minimize the risk. And by having somebody here during their court time when it's volatile, and you sometimes have volatile meetings. Most of the county offices here, one time or another, have somebody unhappy come in, appraisers, clerks, ours. That person can just kind of take care of both of those areas up there and then down.
Can I butt in again? I'm sorry, but of all the county offices, what one do you think would have the smallest chance of having someone be threatening to them at any given time? I would say registered deeds. That would be my guess. Morris County is upping security. Now, they're not closing instances and stuff, but they're buying extra cameras and doing things of that nature to go to the sheriff's department, getting panic buttons everywhere, which they didn't have before, because they just had someone in the register of deeds office with a gun getting threatened. Which of all places in the world, I don't know what you'd have to get that upset about in the register of deeds office, but they did. So to Rob's point and your point, you never really know.
It used to be you could kind of figure out that, but today you can't distinguish the evil line because it's just exploded in every direction.
Thank you, Internet.
Yeah.
So if we authorized you to hire a person to do that, how long would it take to get that person up to speed?
The hiring process, a couple months, hopefully. Get them sent to school, 14 weeks for certification. Whenever that becomes available, I have to wait for an opening for that. So you're looking at 3 months, 5 months, 6 months. If I hire somebody today with no experience, no certification.
So what could we do in that lean time to provide some security? Do you have any ideas? Thoughts? You know, that's why I was thinking, if there was some way for the district court to coordinate with somebody that's off duty, they had 3 or 4 names they could call and say, hey, can you be here today? I just didn't know if that was a possibility.
I can check and see if it is, if anybody would be available.
Because we basically have 3 different city departments in the county. Maybe there'd be a possibility of someone from one of those covering.
So how much is it, I'm sorry, go ahead.
A lot of the cities are using part-time personnel, and they're using officers from other jurisdictions to supplement as they need. So a lot of those officers are working extra hours anyway, in at least one jurisdiction, sometimes 2. Part-time officers are hard to get during the day. simply because most of them have a full-time job of somewhere. So that leaves them evenings or on the weekends, that they would be available. So that's kind of tough, unless you find somebody that's retired who wants to come back and provide security would be your best option.
Yeah, I'm just thinking of this 5-6 month lag.
So can you explain to me what the difference would be then? Somebody mentioned something about a professional service.
Well, it would just be an independent contractor that would have personnel on staff.
Okay, so then you wouldn't
That's what
have
they
that
do.
weight.
Just as, there's security personnel that are hired for specialty events or whatever. You see them all over at the.
But would they wanna do that on just a short-term basis? Most of them probably want a year contract at least.
I didn't ask that question when I contacted those folks. My guess would be I wouldn't want to contract with you for 6 months and lose the gig. But what do I know?
So could we direct you to check and see if there is a retired officer or someone that might be interested in
To
doing
my,
that for
to
a
my
while?
knowledge, there are none.
Or not?
Now, I'm not
Yeah, I just,
saying them
I,
all, but I don't know of any off the top of my head that would be.
I just know that, it's fine and dandy, we get a bailiff, but we're saying 5 or 6 months. Well, we don't know what's gonna happen tomorrow.
So would it be out of the question to just call and ask? I mean, the worst thing to do is, like, Mr. Powell didn't say no.
I guess I'll rephrase that. If I move somebody over here that is certified, I could do that immediately, but then I would have that 5 or 6 months period that I would deal with there on the road, which would be doable. We could make that.
Yeah, cause I'd like to see us get something started right away. What the commission feels like, but I feel like the more time is spent, the more chance something bad could happen.
I could work on moving one over. I'd have to rearrange the schedule and pull somebody, because I've tried desperately hard to keep 2 people out at night. It's crazy, and that's my main goal. I don't want to leave one person out there by themselves, so I pull one guy from day to night quite often to make sure that that doesn't happen. Daytime, I've got myself and one other deputy out there. But I could probably pull one over sooner and then replace him and deal with that side of it on my end.
So what would happen if you did that? I mean, you have one person here, and we would not be securing the other doors. We would not have checkpoints. What would that look like if you did what you're describing?
And I see what you're wanting. You're wanting primarily upstairs on court days. Is that kind of what?
I'm taking care of my flock.
I
So I'm not gonna argue that there might not be a need for the rest of the building, but yeah, that's what I'm asking.
And that's kind of where I'm thinking, is that primarily on a court day, on a heavy court day, we could put that person there. When that's done, they've got the rest of the building to monitor. When there's not a big court day or any court day, then they would just be in the building. If that's, I think that's what you're looking for, is that correct?
Well, I think so.
Somebody in the building, and we make that.
We also need to think about the security for the whole courthouse. Where do we start? Where's step one?
Somebody in the building itself, proper at all times, would help deter, I believe, and would also give that much quicker response if there was an issue. Have somebody already here in the building.
So what you're saying is just
that game.
to not secure any of the doors, just to have a presence?
If you secure the doors and leave one open, unless you're monitoring that door, we haven't really accomplished what we needed to accomplish. Because if you're not gonna monitor that entrance, it doesn't make any difference whether they come in the front door, side door.
I think we do have cameras on those entrances, correct, Tina?
But
We
nobody's
do
had
have
one.
some cameras,
That
but
Nobody's just sitting there monitoring.
monitoring them, and nobody, and we don't know what they're carrying in with
Right.
them.
I wonder if it would be helpful for the board to have information about what it would cost to put some sort of a station downstairs, like
No,
by
I
the
think
door.
that's,
If you think about putting a
Maybe step
full-time
two.
person on security that we're hiring ourselves, you've got a full-time person's salary plus benefits to think about, and also what they're gonna do for all those hours when they're not in, you know, if they're just wandering, or, you know. So those are all things to consider as far as the cost, to where if you could potentially put in a station downstairs where you have the ability to monitor that.
So isn't the best protection, I better ask you, don't you think, and I'm just asking, don't you think the best way to protect it would be to have one door and have that door monitored?
Yes, but it's like anything else. Are you willing to give up what you have to give up? Is that that's better than the other alternative we've discussed. But, you know, it's just not a thing to take lightly to be saying, we're gonna force everybody through this one entrance. And if you're gonna do that, then you have to be prepared to put the money and such into, you know, you don't, if they're gonna be coming through an entrance, you gotta have a metal detector. And you gotta have people watching that and monitoring. You could set up a camera bank that they could look at all these other cameras that are around there from the courtroom. You can see all over the place. It's a pretty good camera setup in my estimation.
But what choice do we have, really, if we want to effectively protect the people? What choice do we have?
When I was a county attorney at this point, I would say, that's not a legal question, that's a political question.
Randy?
Well, but I get you. May I ask the sheriff a question?
Sure.
Rob, do you have a preference, if the commission was willing either to create another officer position that you know, do stuff over here, or leave you out of the not leave you out of the equation, but not do it that way and just get us a private firm? Do you have a preference on which way to do it?
Not necessarily, no. Either way would work. I don't know a lot about the security companies and their personnel and their vetting processes and how, you know,
Yeah.
that would be one concern I would have.
Then that's a good point, because there's probably some security companies that would be the last thing you'd want. They might cause more trouble. But what I know of, and my research level on the one in Dickinson County was not real deep. I didn't do a deep dive. I relied in large part on the county administrator over there and what he had done. But I know that everybody they provide certified law enforcement officer, as I understand it, and carries weapons and so on. But I'm not their business manager, so you'd be free to look at any others you might choose to.
What the judge said is if you said it's one door deal, you're not just looking at one employee, you're looking at two employees. Because you've got days off, you've got sick day, you've got noon hours, you've got breaks, or you've got a lot of things you're looking at more than just one person to set that up. We've done numbers of think sessions here, what we're doing today. And what you said, we haven't done nothing, and we don't wanna wait till it's probably too late. It's a costly situation no matter which way we go. And I think that's what's been the deterrent. Probably, you're just gonna have to set a budget, but for it and do it if that's what you really wanna do. I mean, and I'm not saying it's nothing against that. I think over the years, Rob and the judges come in and tried getting the judge some security through employees that way. We've put on an employee over there because of that. But it's something that's gonna take money. I don't care what you say, it's gonna take money, and it's gonna take, and then to get what Rob's worried about, and the judge too, is what they both said, is the quality. Because it's out there that just because you put a gun on, you're not a good officer, sometimes, in security companies, things like that. So, I mean, you gotta be able, would we want any control over that quality of person standing down there? If you hire a security company, you probably don't have no quality control, I don't know.
Well, I would think there would be ways to do that. I mean, not necessarily us personally.
Right, but
I would think there would
we should be able to do something.
Yeah.
Well, irregardless, we don't even know what a budget would be, because we have no idea what that equipment costs. So, you know, I guess that I'd be in favor of having Tina or someone look into getting us a cost figure on something like that, so we can at least look at it.
How would we determine that? What would the average officer start off at? Do you know, doing something like that? Do you have an idea?
per year. I'm not sure what starting pay is, but I would say you're gonna want at least at this starting pay of certified officer for the county. Any less than that,
It'd be the regular pay schedule.
yeah, that's what I would say, regular pay schedule compared to same risk. The old days when the courthouse was closed, we utilized them in other ways.
And then do you allow, the next thing that you run into in this situation, do you allow any exits through the outside doors? I mean, you just bolt them, exits, after you're in here, do you allow anything through that, or you just bolt them shut, and then you got fire to think about? And it's...
They have to be set up so alarm goes off if you go through. Geary County setup has been a point of contention for me for a long time. They set it up so you have to come in and funnel everybody in. And in Geary County, you're talking 4 courtrooms that are going, so there's a lot of people. And then the front doors, which would be just like the front doors to this building, they left them, they have a sign that says you can't come in, and they're locked, so you can't come in, but you can exit them. Well, if, to Diane's point earlier, if I want to commit mayhem, I just get my buddy to wait outside with the weapons. I go through the metal detector, go open that door, hold it open while he comes in, and then we do what we're gonna do. You gotta make it so that
That defeats
there's
the
an
whole
alarm,
purpose.
yeah.
Okay, well, normally we don't take any of this until the end, but being we're into it, I think Michelle had first.
You guys were talking about locking, doors, keeping one open. Who has keys to the courthouse? Like, who all of the employees here have actual keys to the courthouse?
There's a bunch.
Like every employee,
Tina, can you address that? I know the department heads all have keys.
I would say a lot of people, a lot of the employees do.
Do they?
See, that's a whole nother issue.
Yeah.
At what level do you get a key? So.
Yeah, but that's definitely something we can control.
Right.
That's not.
Anyway, let's get back to where we're at. We've got several issues on the table. I guess our where we're coming back to is if we authorize you to hire a person to be a bailiff, we've got a 6-month window that we need to fill somehow. And, maybe, I don't know, Judge, would you determine this, I need somebody over there for this, or it's pretty hard to tell.
Rob made reference to it. We sit down and for 3 months, I think, kind of calendared. This is our prediction of when we would want to have someone here. And that's us looking at, okay, this is a juvenile docket. Those are always, people get very upset when you're talking about taking their kids away or whatever. This is a divorce where it's a child custody issue, people get the same thing. Or this is a criminal case where we may not have trouble with the criminal, but we might from the, so we did that. And matter of fact, that's when I talked to that security company, I said, look, what I want the bid for is on average 20 hours a week. And that might mean, 40 hours one week and no hours some other week or whatever. We just have to do that. Yeah, we can do that. And by the way, on the cost thing, I would think that, and Rob Main, do you know anything about what Dickinson County has done with their security over there at all?
No, not their private company.
Okay. I don't know why what they're paying there would be any more than we would pay. I mean, it's a bigger county, and they have 2 courtrooms versus 1, but still got one door and they got people staffing it, and I would think you could get a pretty good guess at, or estimate the cost just by calling Dickinson
I
County
don't think so, yeah.
on the private security side.
And I'm not afraid of hiring, you know, we hire people all the time, I think, you know, this is a justification for hiring people. I just think this is out of the normal category for hiring people, and I just don't think we should take the same due diligence, study it, that we need it, because I think we've already proven we need it. In my opinion, I believe, I'm convinced we need it. And so.
Well, I know the private security would probably be the easiest option to go, because we basically contract with them and then schedule would be set or whatever, and that'd be it.
And I think.
I'm just thinking what's best long-term for the county. Do we actually need a bailiff in this county?
So I guess to what you said, I don't disagree with anything that you say, but I'm just saying to get started. Maybe we should check into the private one just to see what our options are, and maybe we get started, and maybe we can then grow on it or change it as we go along, as we learn.
But
what's
also
available.
the judge.
You're talking about the short, maybe a 6 month.
Yeah, the
contract.
judge.
You know, whatever it is we need to, if we decide that we don't wanna do, but we got a 6 month, maybe, wait line here.
Depending on whether I brought somebody over.
Right.
And then I deal with the 6 months over there or over here.
But we're
half
wanting
and
Peter
half,
to
but-
pay Paul, right?
Right.
So, what I'm saying is, at least check into the companies, or consult with Dickinson County to find out what we can do. And that gives us time too, to talk to the other places, to what we can do, what's best, what's working, what's not working, and so on.
We also needed to see if they would do a short-term contract.
Would, if you would allow me to call Brad and have him send all three of us an email of the expenses and what they,
Sure.
and do that to see, just to give us an idea. I think Brad would do that, I think, for us. And get us, that's Dickinson County right here. Tommy.
Yeah, Brad's a Dickinson.
And, I think that would be, maybe Brad's usually pretty good about just giving us just the rough figures of
Oh.
what they're, you know.
He'll tell you whenever.
Yeah, I think he would, so give us all three an email, maybe Tina too, or Robin, Judge, and, you know, whatever we think we need to do here to do
That might
something.
be a agenda item for a week from Tuesday,
Okay.
or, you know.
I don't know.
all
Are
of
we-
it.
I don't know,
You're talking about
I don't know if he's
Tuesday.
working this week.
Yeah, that's right, if he's available.
Yeah, okay.
I mean, if we can get anything by then,
Yeah, okay.
because, you know, I don't wanna sit here a month and a half from now and going, oh, now we do.
I would, that's one person that I would really trust to give us the facts and,
That's pretty good.
So you're saying you'd call him?
yes, I will.
Okay.
And give us the emails all of us.
Yeah, if you could just email all of us, it would be helpful. I mean,
I don't wanna
we
do
did
that.
have a figure on that was an annual contract,
That
wasn't
was
it?
a 1 year contract for 20 hours a week, and it was 26,000.
That would be 6 months,
Yeah.
broke down to 40 hours a week.
I'm sorry?
That'd be 6 months and 40 hours a week.
Yeah, probably true. Okay.
So anyway, okay, well, we'll go ahead and, I hate to say wait. Wait a week.
I will say one thing that I do, we just finished the hiring process, and so the hiring process that would go through would be diminished, because there is one other out there that is ready. Not certified, but would be ready for that 2 month process. But they still have to go through school and certification.
Well, that gives us an option anyway, so.
On the lighter side, when I was in here doing our budget and talked to you all about that security thing, it must have come out in the, well, there's a reference in the paper to that request. The Kansas Bar Journal does this little things that are going on, and they put a blurb in there saying that Judge Michael Powers went to the Dickinson County Commission and asked them to fund security at the Marion County Courthouse. That'd be a pretty good deal, if I could get that done.
Yeah. You might follow up on that today.
In our camera system, and I know how it works, but I'm just, when you go to that next stage where you, I mean, the person that we would, if we was had to hire that, most of them have security cameras that they can watch, when they're
Yes.
sitting there, don't they?
Yes.
that's.
I mean, I think that's the right way to do it. They can sit there and toggle around, check out, you know, the building, whatever. It can do on a, well, automatic just roll over, but the one we have, I can, at my desk on my computer, I can just look and see what's going on in this hallway out here.
Oh, okay, I didn't know how much access we had, so that would be something to think about too.
You can't see in the room.
Depends, I mean, obviously, if there's a camera, like the courtrooms have cameras, the outer area for the clerk of the court's office has a camera. You can't, yeah, you don't get to look and see if Tina's working or not.
Well, I was gonna say even like how you have a dead space.
Yeah, they're dead spaces,
Yeah.
absolutely.
Okay. I guess we will move on and then wait for some information and try to get this acted on.
I'm gonna have them send it to you to us.
I guess, do we want to direct Rob to go ahead and look at, see if there's a possibility of getting a person trained that we could use down the road? Would that be outside your budget?
Do we want to
For
see
the
what
rest of,
the
for the rest of the year,
Yeah, I'm just talking Rob right now.
for the rest of the year, I'd have to look and see.
You might look at your budget and see what that would look like. And in the meantime, see if we can get some information out of Dickinson County.
It's a cost and contract, it's a cost and contract of 2 subjects.
Yeah. Okay, well,
24,000.
They gave you the bid. You want me to contact that company?
Well, that'd be nice.
Whether they be willing to do a short-term contract?
sure, that'd be great.
Yeah.
I'll do that.
I like lots of information.
Yeah, I'll do that.
Options.
Okay, everybody on the same page?
Yeah.
Okay,
Thanks for taking it seriously.
okay.
Appreciate it.
Thank you, Judge. Thank you, Rob.
Tell you what, and thank you, my daughter, really appreciate it.
Okay. Bud here?
Yeah. Morning, Bud.
Morning, Bud.
How are you?
Hi.
Okay, let's start transfer station first.
Wherever you want to start.
Okay, I was wondering if it would be possible for the stuff that needs to go into the new shop office area, if we could take that out of the building fund instead of my budget for the year, like the stairs, the shelving, the refrigerator we bought. I got the desk from the county attorney, and I got 3 chairs from up in the attic for the office, so we're set up there, we don't need to purchase that, but then, you know, this other stuff, like the stairs are for going up to the storage area of the tool room. And just soon have stairs as to try to work off of the ladder, trying to get stuff up and down. I just didn't know if I could take that out of that building fund or not.
Just to clarify, the building fund is not a separate fund, it's actually just a line item in the regular transfer station fund, so it's not accomplishing anything different. I mean, if it's something that is being attached to the building, like the stairs,
Mhm.
that probably makes sense to pull it out of that line item, but soft stuff, potentially not. I mean, but it's really 6 of one, half dozen of the other, honestly, because it's all within one fund.
Well, the only thing is if I do this out of my budget and something catastrophic happens to where I need to repair something or something, and then I don't have money in the budget to fix it, you know.
It's all in your budget anyway.
Okay.
It's all in
Even
the
what's
same budget of the transfer station.
Right. But what's in the bank, if I have to tap into that, I can do it. That's what you're saying. That
I'm just saying there's not a separate building fund for the transfer
Right,
station
right.
that
There's a
has
line.
money.
I know that, I
Yeah.
just,
Well, like
She
Tina
said
said,
yes.
something that is attached
Right.
probably makes some sense
Right.
in order, just for record-keeping purposes.
Yeah.
right.
But otherwise, be your total budget.
What are we talking about, just wood, stairway, or?
Well, yeah, wooden stairway is what we're
Yeah,
talking about
less than
there.
$150?
Oh, probably, yeah. And then we're we're not moving the old countertop over into that building. We're gonna build a new one. It's gonna be a small one, you know. It'd probably be less than $150, you know.
What kind of other things are you thinking of?
Well, you know, that was set up as a break room office, and it was gonna have the table chairs in there so the guys could sit and eat, you know, at the table and chairs, and then a wardrobe place for them to put their personal stuff. They wanna change their uniforms there now, so he's gonna put the uniforms in the closet down there, you know, getting that moved in. And then we already had the refrigerator in. The 55-gallon drum carts we bought for rolling the 55-gallon drums of oil around. Got that. Just things that would make the job easier. We're not going overboard on anything, just something that will simplify the work goes on in there.
I mean, you got the budget.
Yeah, I have no problem with it.
I mean, you know, the steps are gonna be, if I'd have known that we was gonna have storage up there, I'd have had them put the steps in the building.
Is this like just an attic type?
It's just right over the top
Oh,
of
it's
the,
okay.
Oh,
you know.
that storage area.
Yeah, you don't wanna use a ladder.
No, you know. So, you know, I built the stairs up there at the weed office, did away with the ladder up there for the storage area. It's a lot better going upstairs with boxes and
Well,
stuff.
if you keep it under $500, I think, do what you gotta do. If it's under $500, far as I'm concerned, that's my opinion.
I don't have a problem with it.
No, you gotta do that.
And what's your guys' idea about building a security grate for each one of the windows that goes on the outside, so kind of deters somebody wanting to break in? You know, that's an awful lot of glass we have down there.
You mean like shutters or something?
Just bars or something, you know, they may break the windows, but they wouldn't access the building, you know.
Those are pretty cheap, you just get somebody, because I've had some of those built already for my basement windows.
Right.
But I put them on the inside, and it was cheap to do that.
These windows are 48 inches by 72 inches.
Yeah, but
Yeah, I mean, I was gonna get a price of Marion Manufacturing. I've been looking online, but I can't find anything big enough for the exterior.
You ever had any problem with that in the past?
Oh, I broke it into on the old building, yeah.
Checking that we built.
No, I hadn't checked in there
Yeah,
yet.
those rolling shutters are nice, but they're pricey.
That, but they're, if you're worried about
They
somebody
would
breaking in.
They would protect glass.
They're not even gonna let them break their windows, so,
Yeah.
what are they called?
we built. They're manufactured right here in
They're
Marion
a-
County, they're a
they're a-
nationwide company.
Oh, I
They're a
see.
shutter type.
A rolling shutter comes out, shuts the whole window.
Close the whole window.
Yeah, they make all the security for the post offices and stuff to lock down
Huh,
It's wheat belt or wheat belt? Wheat belt.
Yeah, it's right over there in the industrial park. Yeah, it'd be worth checking with him.
All right, I'll check with both.
For next year's budget.
Yeah, I know those are
Yeah.
pretty pricey.
Yeah.
They're nice.
They're very nice, very nice.
Okay, well, that's got that answered down there. Then that's all I needed about that. Okay, now the weed department. Been getting a lot of people coming in complaining about the sunflowers out on the road, so I've been pointing them to the road and bridge, because that's a mowing deal, you know, and they need to just mow them off, you know. It's a hazard to the farm and stuff.
They're gonna be really tall this year.
Yes,
They
they are.
already are.
Yes, they are. And then I've got three people that I'm gonna have to have force spray done this year for muscus. They just ignored me, so I'm sending them out a fall legal notice that they have to have it done. If they don't do it within 15 days after the time limit of the letter, we can charge them $100 a day, up to $1,500. Fine, for not doing it, and then we go in and force spray it, and they have to pay for that too. That goes on their taxes. And then the
Oh, I
county the county puts a lien on their property until they have this paid. The thing of it is, if we're gonna do that, I'll have to go into the capital outlay to pay for doing the force spray, because the weed budget doesn't have that type of money in it, but we do have the money in the capital outlay to cover that.
Would that be just a ground sprayer or aerial sprayer?
It'll probably be aerial sprayer, is what most of this property will be.
Pretty big area,
Huh?
big area.
One of them's a full section, one of them's 150 acres, and the other one is 200 and some acres.
I've been getting those complaints too.
Yes.
You know, I think if we have the ability to do it, we need to do it.
Yeah.
I agree.
You know, we try to do it. Most of the people are responding when we send the letters out and getting on it, but these three people have just ignored us, and it's time to do something with them, you know. On the Cerisa Lespedeza, I found that if we sidestep the renter and go right to the landowner, it works a lot better for us, because the landowner doesn't want to see it happening. And a lot of times I don't know who the renter is.
I was gonna say,
Yeah.
it's our dealings to deal with the landowner,
Right.
not with the renter.
Right.
I mean,
That's usually who I go to, unless somebody tells me who the renter is, you know, then.
Yeah, it shouldn't be that, it should
But
be the landowner.
most of the time, the letters go out to the landowners, so.
Especially
And then
if
if
we're
the
gonna add it to their
landowner
tax
comes-
bill.
Well, and I think, you know, there's a requirement of a certified letter a certain amount of time before you notify them and give them amount of time, and then.
I've got
and
3
to add,
letters.
okay, but to add them to the taxes, there are specific things in the statute that have to be followed.
Yeah, no.
And so.
I need to get with you on that when that happens, is what the law says that I have. I need to get
And
with
then
you.
you'll have to turn all that documentation
Oh, yeah.
in
Oh, yeah.
when, to get that added. So,
Right.
Okay.
Yeah, I know everything we need to do, I'm just trying to get it, you
Okay, well, I just wanted to mention it since you brought it up and you're talking about it.
know. Right.
You know, because generally we have those in our office by the 25th of August to put on the taxes for
Well,
specials.
I have till the end of October for them to do something, and then I take over.
Okay, and that's completely fine, I just want to
Yeah.
make sure that we have
Now,
all the documents.
Whether it makes this year's taxes, next year's taxes, I don't know, it just needs to go on their taxes if we go in and do it, same way with the fine and stuff, you know. But,
Fall spraying is gonna be the most effective, so you wanna get it done.
yes, yes.
And I think it's good that you're putting pressure on, too. I mean, enough is enough. you
This
know.
one guy, he's ignored, hadn't even answered, hadn't even went out and hardly done anything. Bad thing of it is, he lives out of county, but that's no different than anybody who lives out of state, you know.
Right.
I get a lot more response from the people who live out of state than I do. But a couple of them are in-county people. But I just needed you guys to be aware that if we're gonna do it, that's where I'll have to take the money from to do it. So,
Needs to be done because
Yes.
it's sure harming the neighbors.
yes. Yes, and that's all done through my office, you know, it doesn't go through the county attorney or anything like that, so. So anyway, but, I think that's everything that I wanted to speak with you guys. Did you have anything you want to speak to me about?
Go ahead,
Yes.
Randy.
Did the commission see that El Dorado shut down their recycling?
Yes.
That's sure something that, I don't know if they shut it down in the transfers that are in there. Yeah, well, I meant, do they have a transfer station type deal where they all come, or they don't do that?
They
go-
took it to a place there inside El Dorado, and then they had Waste Connections come and get it.
Pick it up or
That's-
something, okay.
That's why they're shutting it down, because if we would've stayed with Waste Connections, we would've had the same $98 a ton to pay to get rid of it.
Yeah.
With them.
Yeah,
But-
so, I think we need to look some serious at what we're doing. it's good to go out here and pick up, but I think the cost is way above what we need to do. With that being said, I'd like to ask you, Bud, you made the mention of road and bridge on mowing.
Mhm.
What I don't see in our weed department is our big truck running around and doing our ditches and stuff, like it has in the past.
It was kind of hard to get to do everything in the past with the two people. Randy was out with the little truck spraying. I've been trying to get the big truck going and stuff, but I guess what I need to know from you guys, KDA is pushing to not spray all the weeds in the ditch because of the pollinators, bees and stuff. You guys are my bosses. If you say spray everything, I will spray everything. But once again, with me acquiring the extra full-time helper, I'll be able to get that back out and get it going again.
But yet you come in and ask us to switch 2 half-time jobs to a full-time and the job would get done.
Right. Well,
And
it's too late now to spray.
Too much, probably.
Yes, yes. I mean, so far, my full-time guy has been spending a lot of his time down at the transfer station because the guys are taking off, you know. And that's how it was set up, is to help out. So, it is going to get changed, and we will get it back on the road, but we also need to concentrate on the noxious weeds that were not taken care of in the past, and they've overtaken the right-of-ways, and it's hard for me to enforce the people to take care of their noxious weeds if we have it growing in our right-of-ways. And so we're trying to get those under control right now, and it's hard to do, especially with Johnson grass, because if the soybeans and stuff get planted and the Johnson grass is right there beside them, we can't spray. And then by the time we can spray, it's too late. It's already gone to seed, and you know, it's just one of those things. But anyway, yeah, it's going to get taken care of, and we will.
What I'm getting at though is, you said for them to mow, and I understand if we had the mowers, but we don't have the mowers. We don't have the people to even do that, to mow all of the back roads and to keep all of the sunflowers down, and then let alone the good roads that people travel and stuff, you know, the blacktops and things to keep the weeds down. So I don't know that that's the proper answer for sunflowers. I don't think it's going to happen. We can say, yeah, go there, but I don't think it's going to happen with reality.
But I know when they come to me about that, a lot of people think that sunflower is a noxious weed, and it's not. You know, it's not a noxious weed.
I don't remember us spraying them as a county. I don't know that we've sprayed sunflowers before. I don't know.
I mean, when you spray
When
for
you-
Johnson grass and musk thistle and stuff, is that
Well, musk
effective? Is that
thistle
not effective
would-
on that also?
Not the Johnson grass, because that just kills the Johnson grass. It doesn't even kill the brome around it. It might discolor it a little bit, but it doesn't kill it. So it's just strictly for Johnson grass. The 2,4-D for the musk thistle, that'll take care of something if it doesn't become immune to it and stuff. But like this year, it's just, you know, so much moisture.
And then you got fields of sunflowers.
Yes, yes.
So
Yeah.
you have to go around that too.
And you know, it's not that we're not trying to get out there and get it done. We've had a lot of people request to come out and spray bindweed around their sections. We get out there and get that done, you know, because they're treating it in their property in that section. So we're trying to get that taken care of too, you know. It's just, it's a never-ending battle.
Are you still taking the county and dividing it into fours and trying
Yes.
to concentrate on certain corners of the
We're
county?
trying to, the biggest problem we got is down south with the cerisa and the Johnson grass. That's, right now, that's where we have the biggest problem. So far, we don't have that much of a problem in our right of ways with must, that's why it's just a hit and miss in the spring when we gotta go out and
try not to break you.
get it off of our right of ways, you know, and stuff, but the Johnson grass is starting to spread north, the Cerisa, how it jumped north, I don't, unless somebody holds some bales, hey, that's all I can say.
There's a lot of our small communities that don't have enough money. Johnson grass is everywhere in their town.
Yes,
I mean,
yes. And our biggest culprit is the railroads.
And
And I've
railroads
been
is the
fighting
biggest
them
one,
for 5 years trying to get somebody to, and they tell me, yeah, we went through and sprayed, but they didn't spray at the right time to take care of any of the noxious weeds that's growing along the railroad right away. And I'm having a hard time. I have one person that I can contact for Burlington North and the North and South rail. The rail that runs through Durham, I can't get anybody to respond to me. The one that runs through Peabody, I had a guy, but he won't even answer my phone calls anymore. I did have the chief of police down there call me about it a couple years ago, and I got a hold of the guy, talked to him, and he said, well, sprayer's broke down. If we can get it fixed, we'll get over there and spray. If we can't, we won't. And I said, well, you want me to go in and spray for you, you know, if we can get a sprayer to go in there? And he said, don't get on the right of way. So, okay. I don't know what to do. Yeah, it is.
You ever tried burning any of that Cerisa in the fall? This year's probably not gonna work with all of them.
There's people that's talked about trying it, but they haven't done it yet. There has been some burning going on up in Muncie County that I have been looking at, and I haven't got a confirmation yet whether it's helping or not. K-State is the one that's putting on that experiment with burning it in the fall. And a lot of my people around here, they don't want to do a fall burning in fear that they won't have any grass in the spring. You know, when it comes through the winter that's been burnt off, and you get a cold winter, is that gonna kill the roots out and stuff, you know? And so they're a little bit skeptical, but there's a few of them that have talked about
I
trying.
think Doug Spencer up at NRCS has quite a bit of information on that. He's kind of up to speed on that, so he would be a good contact person for your resource.
Right. Right, I know we have a guy in K-State itself, talks to the weed department directors, you know, and tries to keep us informed on the stuff that's going on with it. But here lately, I haven't heard very much of it, so. So just, that's all I know about it. You know, there's, like I said, a couple of them up in northwest part of the county want to try it, but they haven't done it yet, so.
Yeah, I know that's gonna be a long-term problem, probably.
Right.
So, anyway, thanks for getting on those that are not complying. That's pretty important.
We do have the transfer station estimate for payment, which is the final one, and
Okay.
that will need to be approved as long as they're finished.
Yeah, okay, that's part of your packet, we have that, the final payment due on the transfer station. Of course, the original amount of the contract was $314,191.75, and this is the final payment to bring it to that amount of $31,419.18. And of course, we've had our walkthrough, and is there anything that there was a list?
Everything on the list got taken care of, and then there was one little item that popped up, one of the security lights on the outside was staying on 24/7. It got fixed this morning.
This morning?
As far as I'm aware, everything's been taken care of, and it's good. They handed all the keys and the remotes over to me last week. Cody did, so.
Okay. Any other questions for the commission? If not, I'll go ahead and make a motion to pay the amount due to Nelson Fowles LLC in the amount of $31,419.18.
Second.
Moving in second, all those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Okay, thank you, bud. Yep.
in your packets too, I don't know if Fred wanted to speak to this at all, you did have the information from Call Valley about the repair, you know, you wanted to know what it would cost to just repair the floor or keep the same building. So that's the response we got, it was in your packet.
Yeah, you've been able to review that, and whether we wanna go ahead and get a bid on where we're at, just to see where it comes in and move on from that, or, I mean, if the way it appears to me, it's probably best just to go ahead and get the bid and then see what we can do or what we can't do
On the building project,
on
you
the
mean?
building project.
You're saying just move on.
Right,
That's, I agree. I think we stumbled long enough. Let's
yeah.
move on.
I mean, we need to have a hard figure in front of us so we can determine if we go or don't go. I guess we should probably make a formal, ask for a formal approval to seek bids on the transfer station project. If you're ready to go that route.
Did you have the final plans?
Not yet.
Yeah,
They
I think
were-
that
They
you-
were working on those. They were just about to have them completed when you requested the.
Yeah, because when we did the
Information
walkthrough, we
to
said
redo
2 or
the
3
ticket.
weeks,
Yeah.
that's been
Yeah.
that long.
I would say you probably would want to delay making that motion until they have the plans.
You wanna see if Randy's
Yeah.
gonna have that available for,
I know he wasn't gonna be available today, but he could be here next Monday if you.
it'll be next Tuesday.
Next Tuesday, okay.
See
Yeah.
if that would work.
Yeah, I guess I'd work either.
Okay. Yeah, check with him and see if that's the case, then we could get him on the agenda.
Next Tuesday, I'll see if he can come next Tuesday,
Okay.
and hopefully they've got something.
All right.
Okay, I'll do that. Thank you.
I haven't seen Brad yet.
Okay. That's the next item on the agenda, attorney-client business. Brad is not here yet, so we will take
One question.
okay, go ahead, John.
Do you guys know the paper tonnage to dispose of it, Butler County? What it costs to get rid of the trash?
What we're charged?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's on our bill every month, it's $30-some.
30-something a ton?
Yeah, it goes to 40.
They,
Maybe over 40, but I
do
don't.
they know what they're getting paid for recycling per ton from Fort
We're not
Riley?
getting paid anything at this point for recycling. I haven't
Okay.
seen any funds.
We made that move to transfer it up to Fort Riley.
Fort Riley.
About 2 months ago.
Yeah.
I didn't know, I thought they were agreeing to pay something.
Yeah.
Well, they're not charging us to take it, and they said they might pay us, but I haven't seen any funds come through. Of course, I haven't looked at the most recent month. Yeah, so.
And of course, all the cities are
Hey, bud?
interested in that. I've already spoken to Hillsborough, I know where they stand.
Have you heard anything from the recycling people up there that whether there's any payments coming our way?
Last I talked to him was in the end of June, and I asked him about it, and he said that where he takes his, the guy said it was at $0, but at the 1st of September, it should be going back up. So he said that it was looking like it was probably gonna go back up.
And we're taking all of our recycles there, I mean.
Yes.
Glass, paper,
Yes,
everything.
yeah, the mix.
It's just a single stream.
Single stream's always going up there. They've got that new facility that they put in 2017, and they're handling it well. So, every other week is when it goes up there. It goes up on a Wednesday morning. That worked out best for us and them. But he said that he's checking with his boss at all times to making sure whether we can get reimbursed for any yet or not, so.
Well, I guess my feeling is that if they're not charging us anything.
Nope, they're not charging us anything.
If we, it's better than, how many tons have you taken up there?
Oh, let's see, since we've been going up there, we've probably taken maybe close to 100 ton.
Full
I mean-
semi-load every time?
Yeah,
you load?
12 to 14
12
ton
tons,
each
yeah.
time. Whatever we can.
Yeah.
I mean, our room is full, and we can't quite get it empty on one trailer, you know, and so anyway.
Well, if after the recycling's in Marion, and that's not where the cost is if the people that bring it to Marion, that's fine.
Right.
Whether it be Hillsborough, whether it be
Right.
somebody that recycling, bring it to that.
Yeah.
We're getting rid of it for free, well, that's sort of,
Fine.
that's fine. But the cost is for us to run around
Right,
and go
we
out
still
and
have cost in it.
get.
Yeah,
I mean,
we
for all of our trailers and trucks and stuff like that, that's where the cost is. But if we was just to get it here
Mhm.
and get rid of it like that, well, then we're saving some money, so.
Right.
But the cost to get it here.
At one time I did figure up what it is costing us to run our route, but I don't have that information with me, and I'd have to get it back to you. I can't remember exactly what it comes in at, but I know it's less than what it costs to send it as trash.
Well,
It's
it's everybody's opinion what it costs.
Right,
But
right.
We need some hard facts of everything it costs every day, fuel.
Right,
I mean,
yeah.
everything that it
I
costs.
believe I had everything figured, and I still have that, so I can get that to you if you guys,
Yeah, you might shoot it back to us again so we can look at it, what you figured.
okay,
And what you figured on.
right.
When you haul trash, how many tons do you get?
Anywhere from 18, we try to do 18 to 20, sometimes it goes a little over. Just depends on if the grain hauls in, you know, and we have to get rid of that, that's what weighs us down and stuff, but legally, I think, I'm not for sure what legal is on that 22 ton. I
The
think
average,
it's,
the
yeah.
average about 18 or 19 last year.
Yeah, that's kind of what we're going now. I mean, we do get a little heavy on a couple of loads, just depending on what comes in, you know. Gets light if we have a lot of C and D and we can't
Right.
fill in the holes, you know. If we get a lot of mattresses come in, those don't weigh very much, you know, unless they get wet. Unless they get wet, then they weigh. And we don't want that wet. We want the recycling wet, but not that.
Recycle.
Well, we recycle
Yeah.
weighs more.
All these schools keep having these mattress sales.
Yeah.
A bunch of mattresses.
Well, Tabor last year and this year both, they redid their mattresses at the facility over there, and we took in a bunch last year and a bunch this year. And stuff. I did have a situation earlier with a company, brought us some stuff, and they misunderstood me, and they kind of balked about paying their bill to us, but then they found out they have another plant in Ohio, and we're pretty close to what that landfill charges to get rid of their stuff, so
Yeah.
they're happy now.
They're happy.
'Cause the reason they came to us the first place last year is because we were the only place that could get rid of it for them, so. Anyway,
Okay, thank you.
Yeah.
One more question for Bud.
Yes.
There's been some confusion about recycling for styrofoam. I think I heard the guy from Fort Riley say that they could take styrofoam,
the packing styrofoam.
packing styrofoam. So
Comes around your
peanuts-
TVs and stuff,
Oh,
that's the only
Oh.
thing.
Stuff in the boxes.
Okay.
No boxes, no
No
cups, no
Okay.
any
So it's-
styrofoam
so
like
it's-
that.
so-
That gums up their machine. The other stuff, they can take about, I don't know, 100 pounds of it and shrink it down to that you can hold in your hands. That's how they do it. I didn't see that machine that does that, but I saw the after effect of it.
Compresses it.
Yeah, it just melts it down and compresses it, and then they can get it. But it's only the packing styrofoam that goes around TVs, microwaves, any appliance that comes in has that. It's number 6 styrofoam. Huh?
Peanuts?
No peanuts, no peanuts. Because I asked him that when we were up there.
Yeah.
He said no peanuts, because that was packing stuff.
Yeah, it's packing stuff.
And he said, no peanuts. It's gotta be the solid pieces.
So,
So that's.
like the disposable coolers and stuff like that? That type of plastic, or styrofoam?
No,
No?
no.
I would think that's the same as the packing.
Well, I would too, but what we're trying to conform with is, we're trying to keep them happy, you know, because they took us on as a trial basis on how dirty our recycles were, and our recycles are going in cleaner than what they're picking up on the base. And so,
that seems to be something big coming on right now with recyclables, is how clean your recyclable stuff is.
That's it in a nutshell. If you have dirty stuff, they gotta go through and pick it out, throw it out and stuff. It's time consuming, they don't want it, you know. But back to your comment about Butler County, they contacted me 2 months ago about it, landfill did, and wanted the information from Fort Riley to see if they could take theirs up there, so. I passed it on, I stayed out of the middle of it, I just passed on the contact information. Of what happened, I don't know, but I hadn't heard from Linda yet whether they're gonna continue their recycling at the landfill or not, so.
The crossover threshold is a little harder too. They only have to truck the trash 3 miles and then
Yes.
pick up a 70-mile jaunt.
Yeah.
Yes.
Where for us it's about equal.
Yes.
13-mile difference.
Yes.
Okay, thank you, bud.
Okay.
Brad just walked in.
Okay, we'll wait on him. Yeah, we can take a 5-minute break. We'll go ahead and recess until 10:50. More than 5 minutes. It's 11:50, so I'm going to resume the meeting. Next item on the agenda, County Councilor Brad Jantz, attorney-client business.
Yes, I would ask for an executive session at this time for attorney-client privilege issues specifically related to legal obligations and requirements we need to discuss.
Okay,
And there's
how long do you want to go? Till noon?
Yeah, I would say so.
Okay. I'm going to make a motion that we recess into executive session for the purpose of evaluating legal obligations and requirements to be comprehensively considered and included in the new development agreements, along with the ramifications of each regarding the Expedition Wind project, pursuant to KSA 431-9B, for consultant with our attorney regarding matters deemed in the attorney-client relationship with the commission and Brad until 12 o'clock, and then we will resume in open session.
Second. A second.
Yeah.
Moved in second. All those in favor?
Aye.
He's gonna have to move it again.
Hey.
We're about to go back
Okay.
into executive.
Oh,
Out of
no.
executive session, no action taken. And I will move that we recess into executive session for the purpose of evaluating legal obligations and requirements to be comprehensively considered and including in any development agreements along with ramifications of each regarding the Expedition Wind project pursuant to KSA 431-9B, with consultation from our attorney regarding matters deemed privileged in the attorney-client relationship with our legal counsel Brad and the commission until 12:15, and then we'll resume into open session.
Second.
Moved and seconded. All in favor?
Aye.
Okay, we're on.
No more.
Yeah.
Okay. Out of executive session, no action taken. At this point, that was the final agenda item. Open it up to citizen concerns, comments. Anyone?
I've got one.
Jonah?
Yeah. Travis was looking, and I didn't realize this at the time, Travis was looking for a building over in Hillsborough, you know, for the EMS. And I just wanted to make sure that you guys are aware of, I just found out last Tuesday that the city of Hillsborough has not been charging for the EMS to be there. Just making sure that that's common knowledge.
Yeah, it's common knowledge.
And just trying to make sure that you guys don't need to spend money if you don't need to spend money.
Thank you for bringing that up.
Okay.
Anyone else?
Have we, heard anything on the development plan action for acquisition one? I'm just curious.
Not on the plan.
Right.
It's been submitted to Sharon. I talked to her on Friday. Best of my knowledge, there's not been a development plan presented yet.
Okay. Anyone else? Okay, that's it. Make a motion to adjourn. Second by Randy, all those in favor?
Aye.
Oh, I don't know.